Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Rusty 78609. That's my 2019 Casita Freedom Deluxe. And what I have just done is change out the interstate battery that came with it. It's a lead acid wet battery. You know, you have to check the water every now and then. And I have replaced it with, after some effort, me being 73 years old, inside, you may not be able to see it, but I'll get up there close. Inside, it's a black AGM 120 amp hour battery that weighs about 65 pounds, and old daddy got it in there. I may not be able to walk tomorrow, but I got it in there. And then I've got it braced on both sides, and then I'm fixed. This thing goes in right at the front to keep the battery from sliding this way, so the battery will be stable. The reason I wanted to do that, twofold. One, this is a bigger battery and it's a maintenance-free battery. It's 120 amp hours, and this one I believe is 75 amp hours. It's a Group 27 battery. That's the battery that comes with the Casitas, and that's the tray that holds that battery inside, okay? This battery actually fits on that tray inside of this opening right here. But to get the AGM battery in, since the AGM battery is taller and slightly wider, but not much, in order to get that battery in there, I had to take this tray out. Now, how does it come out? Pretty easily, actually. Once you get the interstate battery out, the one that came with the Casita, and also bear in mind that it's easy to get this battery out. What you do is there's some wires, of course, that attach to positive and negative, but they're long enough so that you can actually slide the interstate battery out and take the little handle right there and set it down on the ground. They've got enough additional wiring for that, so you can set it down on the ground. And then once you've removed those wires, then you attach it to your AGM battery or whatever you're going to put in there. In my case, it's an AGM 120 amp hour battery, Group 31, and it's only about 1.5 years old, so it's good to go, and we're good to go. But anyway, so for those of you that are going to do it, this tray has 2 bolts. They go all the way through the fiberglass underneath, and there's a little nut. You just take the nut off. I'll show you. Right here. These go through the bottom of the fiberglass. There's a bolt on each side. And I put them back in because I didn't want to leave the holes uncovered. You know, water could splash up in there or bugs could make a home in there. So I went ahead and put those bolts back in. And they also have a little rubber gasket on the outside to keep moisture from getting into the battery area. And I put those back in and tighten those bolts down. So that area is just like it was with the interstate battery now. And the only openings are the vents. Of course, the AGM battery doesn't need to be vented, but it is anyway. So having said that, for you guys that are interested in changing out the interstate battery that comes with the Casita and putting in an AGM battery, which you can charge with solar right here. That's a ZAMP solar outlet right there in front of the wheel, okay, right there. And yeah, and so I've got ZAMP solar. I've got a 120 watt panel. It's 260 watt panels. It's called a suitcase portable solar, and you just fold it out and set it on the ground, and it will put out, in good sunlight, it'll put out about 8 amps per hour in good sunlight. Average about 6. So in a 6-hour window of good sunlight, you're putting in 36 amps, which is more than enough to run the refrigerator and all the lights in this RV. So we're good to go there. So as far as dry camping, I think I've kind of solved that issue. And with that in mind, if you have any questions, leave a comment. I'll answer it. But again, this is the tray that the battery sits on in this place right here. It is removable, really easy. And if you're just going to keep the interstate battery, these wing nuts are actually down on the bottom. I've got them reversed. And you know, the battery just slides on that tray and slides right out, and it's got that little handle right there. So you can just lift it out and set it on the ground. They got plenty of wire in there, and they've even got this little Velcro strap there that holds the additional wire. So be sure and just undo that Velcro strap. That will release the additional wire, and you're good to go. And that way, for me, the reason I did it was I didn't want to have to worry about adding water to the wet lead acid battery, because you need to do that about once every 6 months. Depends on the humidity or the climate you're in, but if you're in western USA, New Mexico, Arizona, and places like that where the humidity is very low, yeah, you probably need to do it, and I just didn't want to fool with it. This battery right here is good for another 4 years, probably, as long as I don't abuse it, which I don't plan to do. So having said that, guys, old battery, man, thumbs up, carpe diem, adios, bye-bye, buy anything you want. But if you think about it, use the link to Amazon products in the description of all my videos. Why? Because I get a small commission, doesn't cost you 1 penny. What else? Drink plenty of water, stretch, walk, stand guard at the door of your mind, and you'll feel good all the time. You'll have a positive attitude, and life will be good, and you'll want to do things like this. Pick up a 60-pound. This battery here weighs about 45 to 50 pounds. The AGM battery is about 60 pounds. Yeah. And ask me how I got it in there, I ain't going to tell you, because I'd have to say too many words that probably are called profanity, maybe. But anyway, having said that, adios amigos, bye-bye.